All right, well, here we are just days away from the most frightening holiday of the year. Did you know that Halloween originated in Ireland thousands of years ago?
I did not know.
I did not know that either.
Look at that. You could take that to the water cooler today. It's actually made Ireland, though, a tourist draw this time of year, thanks to festivals, and they've got tons of haunted sites. So Travelzoo senior editor Gabe Saglie has been there for a few days now, joining us live from Trim Castle in Ireland. Gabe, this is so cool. Good morning.
Hey, well, yeah, what do you think of my digs here, guys? Not bad. This is so. If you saw the movie Braveheart, you would recognize Trim Castle. It features very prominently in that film. It dates back to 1171 and a major tourist attraction today. And Trim is about 45 minutes west of Dublin, so gorgeous historic place, easy to get to.
So Halloween was invented in Ireland? I did not know that.
So wouldn't you know? So this is a story that I think in the U.S. we're starting to see it spread much more readily over the years. So about 15 minutes from where I am right now, there's a place called the Hill of Ward. There it is, and I got to visit this place. Once you're there in the top of this thing, it's magical. But through archaeological digs and through carbon dating of remains found right here, they've determined that the very first Halloween ceremonies, and it was called Samhain back then. They were basically pagan sacrificial ceremonies. That's where they first started. And they would perform them on October 31st because back then, that was the official end of the calendar year. And it was believed the day when the veil between this world and the next was at its thinnest, meaning the propensity for ghosts to come across was at its best. So it was always a spooky time. As the Irish spread across the world and into the United States, that tradition, of course, followed. And we now call it Halloween.
That is so cool. The more you know. I feel like I've learned so much this morning. I know that we mentioned,
right?
You know, this has now made Ireland this tourist draw, especially for some of these haunted locations. Do you have any locations that are haunted that you can tell us about?
So, yeah, wouldn't you know? Part of what I've done over the last couple of days is actually visited some manor houses and some castles that are purportedly haunted. There's one called Duckett's Grove. There it is. So this is a place that was built in the 1740s. It burned down in the 1930s, but and it's now, you can visit it. It's the local community upkeeps it. But right in that tower, there's a banshee, they say, who, because of a curse, lives there. And now I visited during the day, but at night they say some say you can hear the shrieks that cut across the night air of this particular banshee, and it's enough for people who come to check out what is obviously an architectural marvel. But for those, there's ghost hunters. There's a lot of people who have come here just to see if they can pick up, and they'll say there's like weird sounds and light orbs. Very interesting place, and that's in County Carlow, which is toward the south of Ireland, about a 2-hour drive from Dublin.
And so where you are right now at Castle Trim, this is 45 minutes outside of Dublin, and that's a totally doable drive. What would you say is the best time of year to travel to Ireland, and where should we go?
Well, so that's obviously during the summer, very popular here. I like coming out in what we call the shoulder season, which is spring or fall, when the weather cools off a little bit, but the crowds become a lot thinner. And by the way, don't forget that the dollar and the euro, for the first time in like 20 some odd years, are 1-to-1. So your buying power when it comes to hotels, rental cars, that extra pint at the pub, just that much easier to budget. Trim, popular to get to, and it now hosts one of the premier festivals for Halloween in the world. It's called Puka Festival. I was here in 2019 when it launched. It took a pandemic pause, if you will, and now it returns this weekend. There's Puka. She's a mythological shapeshifter, but she headlines this event, and we're talking about parades and live performances and just a ton of spectacle. In fact, guys, I've actually already made. Oh, there's Puka. I've already made friends with Puka and some of her Celtic mythological friends. Wow. It's a parade that also features a lot of flamethrowers and a lot of acrobats, a lot of artists, a lot of musicians. So, yeah, this is the kind of multi-day affair that draws not only the Irish, but a lot of folks who come out from the U.S. Out of Seattle, Aer Lingus has nonstop flights all the way to Dublin, making it that much easier to come out here. And I do want you, before I let you go, I want you to meet a friend of mine. Her name is Winifred the Witch. She's up in Derry in Northern Ireland. USA Today calls their Halloween festivities the best in the world. Winifred, you've been celebrating Halloween for thousands of years. This year, though, as we make a return post-pandemic, you've got to be extra excited.
Oh, absolutely, Gabe. We're so excited for Derry Halloween this year. It's going to be even bigger, even better, and even spookier than ever before. You'll see a full city immersed in spooktacular celebrations, and they even put on a parade with lots of delightful little children.
By the way, Winifred looks better and better every century, amazingly. But again, a little taste of what's fun and what's kind of spooky, and really at the end of the day, what embraces that history and those roots of Halloween, that, wouldn't you know, stretch right here to Ireland more than 2,000 years ago.
Gabe, appreciate you. Thank you so much for being out there and for sharing that with us. Thanks so much.
Cool. Right back after this.
Great to see you guys. Happy Halloween.